All these substances, substance this, substance that, spider tack, rosin, sunscreen. What is all this about? What is going on in baseball? Well, let me tell you. Major League Baseball has come out and cracked down on what is happening in baseball with all these substances. If any pitcher is caught using anything at all, sunscreen or rosin or pine tar or spider tack, it's an automatic 10-game suspension, which is a huge deal. This is a big deal. And Tyler Glasnow came out this past week with quite the statement, and I want to throw it to that. He got himself hurt, and he came out in the media and had this statement.
I 100% believe that contributed to me getting hurt. No doubt, without a doubt. I think like it's ridiculous. Like, I have used sticky stuff before. It's ridiculous that like it seems like this whole public perception of like, oh, it's just like select few people. Like your favorite pitcher probably 50 years ago was using something too. Like if you felt these balls, how inconsistent they were, like you have to use something. But I threw to the Nationals with nothing. I don't use sticky stuff I don't use spider tack. I don't need more spin. I have huge hands. I spin the ball fine. I want grip. I did well against the Nationals, probably one of the best starts I had all year. I woke up the next day and was like, I am sore in places that I didn't even know I had muscles in. Like I felt completely different. I switched my fastball grip and my curveball grip. I've thrown it the same way for however many years I've played baseball. I had to put my fastball deeper into my hand and grip it way harder. And I had to, instead of holding my curveball at the tip of my fingers, I had to dig it deeper into my hand. So I'm like choking out all my pitches.
Wow. That's a big deal. That's a really, really big deal. For a pitcher like Tyler Glasnow, friend of the show, by the way, having a Cy Young type of year, an all-star type of year, to come out and say something like that, to come out and say and admit, you know what, I was using something. Of course I was. Everybody has been. Your favorite pitcher 50 years ago was. For him to come out and say that he got hurt because of this crackdown is monumental news. Now, I want to talk about this for a second. I played baseball at one of the highest levels you can get to. All along the way, starting in college, I saw pitchers using stuff. It is deep rooted in baseball history. And that is what I want people to understand, how deep rooted this goes. Whether it be sunscreen and rosin, that's the most common, I think. The problem and why, you may be saying, well, why is this a big deal now then? The problem is because we've gotten to a point where it's getting out of control. People are introducing things that have no place on a baseball. Spider tack, for instance. It's getting to the point where Major League Baseball had to do something. They had to do something. Now, my problem comes with it being done right now. And I don't know if they knew how deep-rooted in baseball this is, but to come out mid-season and say, we're going to crack down, no more doing this, that is where my problem comes about. Because then you're taking these pitchers that for the last 5, 10, 20 years have been throwing a certain way and putting, certain things on the baseball. Now you're telling them mid-season, you have to stop that. And that's why we're seeing these issues. You may be saying, well, that's ridiculous. How can you not using a substance get you hurt? Look, there's all these, baseball is a game of literal minuscule changes. Minuscule. And when you do one thing different, when you have to change your grip, when you're used to holding a ball one way and then you have to grip it a little tighter, it puts strain on your arm in all different places. I can't tell you how many times I had a problem with my labrum, and whenever it would start acting up, I would have to start throwing a little bit different. And every time I did that, I would feel pain in my arm the next day in places that I never knew I could have pain. This is a big deal to do this mid-season, and that's where my problem comes about. I'm fine with the crackdown. I do think it was getting to the point where pitchers were becoming different pitchers. That's not the point of all this. The point of this is to literally be able to grab a baseball and have a grip on it. But what we were running into is these pitchers getting substances that do not belong on baseballs and turning themselves into totally different pitchers with totally different spin rates and the baseball doing totally different things. That's where we ran into a problem. and then we come into this crackdown mid-season, it's a really tough position for all involved. But I don't think cracking down in the middle of the season is the answer. But I'm hopeful we don't see more injuries come about from this. But it is a big deal what Tyler Glasnow came out and said, and I'm hopeful. And I think the answer, I think what we're going to see is in this coming offseason, we're going to see Major League Baseball come out with some sort of substance that is cleared by them. This you can use. We know what this is. You're able to use this to get a little bit better grip on the ball, and you don't have to worry about the super slick baseball. That's what I think is going to come out from this. Thanks for watching. If you love flipping bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.